After all this, you still...
I still want that gas, yes. And you had better deliver.
Hey everybody, welcome to the 80th episode of Greenhouse Gaslighting. Joining me today is my partner and co-host Skyy.
Hello.
As part of a couple changes we're making here at the Greenhouse, we are bringing on Skyy as a full-time co-host and correspondent for a new segment we're calling
Page Bitch.
That's right. For this segment, we're basically going to stick a mic between the two of us, and we're going to do what most relationship dynamics seem to look like for Twitter users, which is a man helplessly sitting there waiting for his chance to talk while his partner yaks on about celebrity gossip they don't know about.
Man, the thing is if I have to see it, you have to see it.
But I don't see it.
But I do. And maybe I don't have to see it, but if I do see it, you need to know. Because this can't just be in my brain. Like, I can't be the only one paying attention. And the problem is I don't, talk to people on Twitter. I just, like things and retweet and send things to you. Mm-hmm. So I need to get it out to someone, and this is perfect because you aren't just the wall that is hearing me talk about celebrities that you do not care at all about, and I'm just like, babe, I don't either, but it's drama, and I love being messy, and I love, most importantly, other people's drama. No one wants to really be in drama, but we all want to know about it. And that's basically what this is.
I think that's a fair analysis. That's the kind that, we've come to love and appreciate on the program. And frankly, sometimes there's times we're talking about it actually does make sense. Especially because you and me, we're more concerned about the material and power structures that sometimes underlie pop culture and the entertainment industry. And while it might seem trite or it may seem like we're repeating ourselves, these dynamics are always at play, and we're just, we're doomed to make content, right? Might as well, keep pointing things out in the way that we do.
I promise you we will not turn into the shade room because we have morals and integrity. But that's a whole nother episode.
The Shade Room deep dive. Oh my god.
Okay. That's years. The people who have said stuff you have to be so detailed because there's so much information with it. So we're not getting into that today.
Basically, instead of making stuff up, we're just going to admit out the gate we don't know what we're talking about.
Oh yeah, no.
Do not cite us. Do not
cite us. That would be...
We're like anti-TMZ. We're late to everything.
Yes. I will see this shit will unfold, and then I'm just keep it to myself until it's the best time to drop this information in a conversation. Oh yeah, did you hear? Blank is a redacted. I don't know. And
I would be like, no, I don't. No. I do not. But this segment was sparked on by something that's taking the discourse verse by waves. And unfortunately, it touches up on things we've talked about on the podcast earlier this year. Shouting out friend of the show, King Krebs. We have to shut down Indian diaspora content until we figure out what the fuck is going on.
What I truly wanted to ask you, are y'all okay?
No. But the thing is, I'm the only Indian American content creator who if they said, Adi, you're producing dog shit, I would be like, you're right. You're right.
Everybody else would be like, no, this is for the culture. This is for everybody else. And you're like, this was for me. And this is because then don't listen.
This is because I didn't feel like I was smart, so I thought if I went on the internet and said dialectical a bunch of times, I'd be smart. And now I'm actually the dumbest person. Which is fine. It's not really, but...
Yeah, dialectically, it really is.
Dialectically, this is
not really
this
it.
presents quite a conundrum, so to speak.
Yes.
Verily. So let's get right into our first topic, which is this business of Hasan Minhaj and his emotional truths. Can you give us the scoop before we dive into this one?
Yes, I will give you...
Give me the spark notes.
The spark notes, the Skyy notes. So basically, a reporter sat down and talked to Hasan. So it's...
Hasan Minhaj, by the way, former Daily Show contributor.
Yes, the Patriot Act. He has 2
stand-ups on Netflix.
Yeah, stand-ups on Netflix. He has made a lot of money being like this, like, I'm Indian and I'm Muslim and I talk about politics and other stuff. And, like, that's the whole thing of the Patriot Act and, like, TV show. And I'm not recommending you see it. Go look at some YouTube clips from somebody else that, like, just shittily recorded it. But basically, he is getting caught up that he has lied about significant things that have happened in his life that he has used for his stand-up, quote-unquote stand-up, or like stories or anything. And again, we understand comedians do get the opportunity to take creative licenses when it comes to like jokes and everything. But let's talk about some of the things he did. The anecdote that he had about like a racist girl and family, like not wanting to take him to the prom and stuff, and them being actively racist to his face, that was a lie.
Which is basically the plot of his stand-up on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yes,
his first stand-up. And then he, not only did he lie, he didn't dox her, but he did a horrible job hiding her identity, making it very easy for anybody.
Like, there's a blurred picture in the documentary, and now I'm like, they could have reverse image searched that.
Exactly.
Yep.
Like, she also has an Indian husband, so her Indian husband has been receiving, like, all of this stuff because... So
did he use the guy's real name in the special?
No, he didn't, but he didn't use anyone's real names, and he used that blurry picture. But that's it. But we live in a world where there's a dude who looks at a picture for 0.2 seconds and he can tell you where it's from. Like, it's not hard to find out any of this information, especially if he puts it all out in the world. Everybody knows where he grew up and, like... So if you look at the graduation class, if somebody has a yearbook, you can probably like look at it and easily find her, and then look at her LinkedIn and find her husband, like all of this stuff. And all of that was based off of a lie. Like, they were friends. He asked her to the prom. She said no respectfully. And that was the end of the story. And then he embellished, in heavy quotation marks, the rest of that.
Well, he not just that. Then he tied it to like his dad's heart attack and like 9/11.
Yeah, and like it wasn't real. And then he said that he was in a situation where like there was this guy who he did use name, who he said was like working for the FBI undercover for like
to infiltrate mosques.
Yeah, like. And the thing is like the guy actively was like, hey, I'm not saying I wasn't like a CIA asset. I'm just saying I couldn't have been during that time because I was actually in jail. Like, this was before we even had this connection. Like, and I was not over, like, you can see me being in jail over here, but you're saying that I was here. Like, this is... Like, he could easily sue you for libel because you're making up these stories about him. Also, with the friend that rejected him innocently, and then they didn't go to prom together. He also invited her to one of his shows, and she was thinking it was like, wow, we are getting to be friends, like we're like everything's okay. And then she sees that like setup, that's that quote unquote joke about her. How do you feel? How am I supposed to feel?
So I think we've talked on this before that stand-up comedians need to be stopped.
Yes. I mean, but that's the thing is, if it was a stand, like, I understand taking liberties, but there's a difference between embellishing a little bit so the story can flow and fit nice, and telling straight up lies and saying this happened to me.
Well, and specifically some of the details he gets into of like people getting beaten up because of 9/11 that didn't happen to him but like happened to other people,
right?
And like particularly like stealing. One, there's this thing of people from a minority background who make it into the middle class, professional class, riding on the backs of people who are doing financially worse than them. That gets unaddressed. You know what I mean? It's like, you're from the valley. What oppression? But then on the flip side, too, it kind of begs the question of, like, this guy's comedy was also somewhat subpar. He didn't have, like, a high jokes per minute rate, so what he did was try to mix in this, like, affect of profundity and, like, being socially conscious to, like, make himself, like, look like... you gain legitimacy with that. But then to find out that, like, oh, none of this shit actually happened to you.
Right.
Which is, again, there's a lot of people who, like, can still be persuasive without relying on their trauma, so to speak.
Exactly. And it'll be, like, it's one thing to make comedy about trauma when it's your trauma. He co-opted that trauma and
from other
like,
people,
from other people, or like he completely made it up, and he knows that like that can happen to people, but it didn't happen to anyone around him, and it sure as hell didn't happen to him. And then even more recently, like he lied about his daughter having to be hospitalized for like possible anthrax poisoning, when his daughter wasn't like even in the room when he opened up a letter that had white powder that he also never took to the police. Like if this, and I'm not denying that he has had threats against him, because when the Patriot Act was on, like apparently Netflix got a lot of like threats about like the show and about him, but like he literally, like, how it seems is that he got the letter, he saw white powder, he made a joke to his wife about, haha, there's a white powder in here, and she's like, that could have been anthrax. Our kids, like, live here. And then he did nothing about it. And then next special he has, my daughter was hospitalized. Like, you guys see how that sounds insane. Like, that's not just like, oh, I went down the street and I saw like 2 babies in a trench coat and everything. Like, that's, even if it is absurd, like, it's just, why would you lie? Especially about people. And I think it's also, if I'm getting...
Well, once again, we live in a society where people make up a guy to get mad at. And why not make up a guy to laugh at?
And the thing is I feel like if he wanted to, like, you could be working in some killer fiction, like, storytelling.
Right.
Because, like, it really seems like you want to do fiction, especially because some of your Patriot Act fact checkers are, like, suing you because of, like, they felt like you were hostile to them because they were trying to fact check you and not let you just lie. because it was their jobs. But it's just, if, to bring it personally, I'm from a culture where we don't even like to say, like, in my household at least, you couldn't even say someone was lying. Mm-hmm. And it's like, even if somebody was, but like also it's like, don't lie. Like, we're not going to say don't lie, but like be truthful and have integrity. And if you make this your whole personality, like, this stuff happened to me, not this is the stuff that happens to people like me, this happened to me personally, feel for me. And this is why you're getting Peabody Awards and all of these access to all of these different jobs. It's like lying about having no, it's like lying about going through something tragic for scholarship opportunities and getting those scholarships and taking them away from other people who actually deserve them. And then you become successful, and then it's just like tainted on those lies because you're a fucking liar.
So I'm going to address that point immediately, but
Sorry.
I think, no, because I have a follow-up to that. But there's one line in this story that I think we failed to address, which is his assessment of his quote-unquote lies as emotional truths. What was the context for this?
It was that even if it didn't happen to him...
There's a turkey outside right now.
Oh my God.
Sorry about that.
It's like, even though it didn't happen to him, it could have happened to him, or like it happens to people like him. And it's just like, I wouldn't want like a suburban Black person, especially someone that's not queer, to be like, I know exactly what she's going through and I can perfectly explain this through comedy. Like, no, you can't. No, you can't. And if you really wanted those voices to be heard, why don't you have a production company that is working to get people like you in those actual situations, like stand-up opportunities? Because I didn't really see that you do anything like that. Looks a little me.
So the thing I was thinking of, right, mm-hmm. is in the context of like where this starts in my mind. You know how like I don't know if every other country does this, but specifically in the United States, every university asks you to do what I call the trauma essay, where it's kind of like the culturally liberal version of pulling yourself up by the bootstraps. You talk about your emotional and like life circumstances that were hardships and how those like, you know, prevented you from being part of the trend or the norm. Mm-hmm. But you're doing it to pull yourself up by the bootstraps, to get a job, to start a nonprofit, to get a degree, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And it's the only exercise I find that like people are expected to speak purely about themselves and speak in plain terms about bad things that have happened to them. Mm-hmm. You can be truthful, and sometimes there are people who speak very truthfully in these essays. But I went to high school in a suburban area, and I've talked to fellow incoming freshmen who had to write these. I've talked to people who had to do similar stuff for grad school, blah 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 blah. And it always is like, what the fuck am I supposed to write here? What am I supposed to say here? You know what I mean? And then just in our little Sopranos rewatch, you know how like all the white people are always talking about like, well, of course these blacks are gonna write something on their essays and get in. Like there's that fucking prejudice too. But I kind of wonder what the origin of is trauma pornography the correct word? Yeah. Like, when did trauma pornography become a feature and not a bug of, like, how liberals present their praxis in the world? When did that become like this kind of shared public ritual and like means of acquiring social capital.
I want to say Clinton, but I don't have any follow-up to why I feel that.
That's again, no hard-hitting analysis here, just vibes.
I just like the vibes give me the 90s.
But you get what I'm talking about, right?
No,
where it's like everybody has to like to prove why they get all this focus and attention. They have to pull like a story out, and I'm not saying that like people don't deserve this or like their stories are fake all the time, but like what is with this? Like, tell me the worst thing that happened to you, and we'll give you like a media career. What is that about?
If I like start to think about like if you even think about like affirmative action like being like destroyed in the way that it was actually helping minorities and then it decided to just help white women, like I think around that time, but like honestly you can look back like Oprah, but Oprah was in the like she started in the 80s and
once again we're coming back to Oprah.
Her whole life story is trauma porn, and she literally like and she got like her and her show. We don't even want to talk. You don't even want to get me started. That's
we literally went on a 10-minute tangent about that on Oprah or on the Nope episode. Remember?
Like oh my god, she's just so. She also, her and The Rock decided that they wanted to donate money for Maui, and they were asking us, and they were like donating money too, but like Oprah owns like the most amount of like on Maui than like anybody else owns of land. And it's like, bitch, give away your land if you want to do something.
Right.
Build housings on that horrible like acres of this fucking like land that does not belong to you. Why don't you buy some land up in the South, bitch? Take some from some white person. I don't know. Like I don't understand what makes somebody like I want to just take indigenous land. Like yeah, like I know that that's wrong, but I want to do it. It's my turn. Like,
you know, I mean, this is once again the example brought back home of like, you do the trauma porn essay, you do the like public like confession of sin, and then you get wealth out of it, and then you use it to cause someone else's trauma.
Yeah,
like
it's absolutely.
I don't get what's going on here, but it just seems dark, and particularly in Hasan Minhaj's case, it's like I don't know. He seemed like the immediate replacement for what's his name? Dude from Master and None.
Oh, Aziz Ansari.
Yeah, he just felt like the replacement Aziz Ansari, and like he just comes in and like takes up like this weird political comedy lane, which I'll be very honest, a lot of political comedy in the mainstream of the United States is like feel-good liberalism more than it is like pointing fingers at people in power.
Right. It'll probably be like, Apple's bad, Amazon no. We are now partnered with the oil companies.
Something like that.
Just
you know?
literally just the stupidest shit.
Right. It's just it's again, it's like I had an argument with some friends about this. We were all Indians, so like we were just talking about like the Aziz Ansari stuff when that went down. And I had a friend just put their finger down and just be like, "Did you guys even like Aziz Ansari's work? This guy's not funny. Why are we sad that like he did this shit? He's not funny. Like,
and it's more disappointing. It's like, damn, like the world, America is like, we give you 10% minorities, and we're going to shake the ball up in like it's a 20 or whatever amount of minority dice, and that's the minority you're gonna get like new artists from, no other ones. This is the only minority right now, deal with it. And they just do that for every single media they want to do, and then they're just like, here you go, this is your Indian representation, No other one. You get this one.
When he fucks up, he fucks up.
He fucks up. You just fucked.
You're done.
You're done. You're done. That's why we still have Tiffany Haddish. Somebody rolled the dice on her, and we're still dealing with the consequences.
I'm putting money down on Usama Siddiqui. Shout out Mango Bay. That's all I can say. But oh god, I just And you also told me, like, when this story was going down, that it reminded you of the Childish Gambino article. Do you want to get into that?
Oh my gosh! So, I don't know what year it was. Like, I think 2 years ago, but Childish Gambino had a interview with, I don't know if it was GQ. You can honestly just search Childish Gambino interviews himself.
Oh, and that one. Oh.
And it is like, that is the only more unhinged article I have ever read about like that type of celebrity, you know, like it, not like a political person. Like, obviously they're gonna do a lot of fucked up weird shit that you're like, oh duh, like, what do you think the dude who lives in Minnesota is gonna do? No, I don't know any dude. I'm just like saying in general. I don't know. What do you think the dude in Indiana is gonna do? He's from fucking Indiana. But
Childish Gambino's from Indiana?
No, I'm just saying that Indiana people are sus. But Childish Gambino interviewed himself in a article, and it was so unhinged because he was like interviewing, he was acting like he was hearing the questions for the first time. Like, that's the only way. It, like, I've said that it was Childish Gambino interviewing Donald Glover. Like, that is what it was. It wasn't Childish Gambino interviewing himself. It wasn't Donald Glover interviewing himself. It is these two people that he is, and I'm not in like I don't even know what to say. It was, and he like, as he starts asking himself like questions about like, do you feel like you failed the black community or something like that? And he'll be like, why did you ask me that? Like, why are you doing this? As someone who's had multiple mental breakdowns in her time, that was a mental breakdown if I've ever seen one.
Just because it has the illusion of control doesn't mean it was a control break.
And I also wanted to know, like, was it recorded? Like, was there a tape recorder?
Well, there was a video of it, yeah.
There was a video of the whole
thing? You showed
thing?
Me the video, or at least the excerpt, right?
It probably was. Well, he was on his farm, so, like, there was at least, like, a photographer.
I don't even know where to begin with that.
Yeah,
I don't know where to begin with any of these topics.
We don't ever have to continue with that. He's crazy and in like ways that you wouldn't even think for that word. So like, just,
you know, he's like a Gambino, but childish.
Yeah, he's very childish, that Gambino, I tell you.
So, these next two, I'm just gonna club them together because this is gonna be sad.
Remember that movie Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Yeah, none of that entire scene has not aged well, huh?
I used to really love that movie, and
almost everyone in that story has basically been exposed.
Yeah, like, literally almost everyone, except for the one. Actually, I don't know
who played Marshall in How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah. Has he done anything sus?
Not that I know of.
Congrats, you.
Keep it that way, sir.
Maybe that's your curse for doing that movie in Hawaii.
let's just take a look now. I'm
sorry. We have to do
Jason Segel.
Yes, I wanted to say that's his name.
Let's go to the controversies.
Gotta go straight to the personal life.
Okay, he was dating Linda Cardellini. Good. Dating. Okay. He was getting some
quality white.
He was getting some quality white women. I tell you what. No, I think he just did the newest thing with him is he did that show with Harrison Ford on Apple TV. Otherwise, I think that's it.
Okay, but it's Harrison Ford. It's like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not problematic.
Oh, okay. Well, congrats.
I'm just saying that's the only thing I know about him at this point.
Okay. Back to this. Russell Brand,
Ashton Kutcher, and Mila Kunis. The three of them.
The three of them. Who would have guessed? Well, first of all, Russell Brand. No one is surprised.
He is British. What are they getting up to on that island? What are they getting up to?
Redacted. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's all we gonna say. I just the only thing I can say about this whole story is like, you know, there's this current going around that like Russell Brand is being silenced for his radical views, and I say, which ones?
Never had radical views. He's just
but basically it's like
he's like said like yeah, I don't know, like what Russell Brand says.
Here's the thing: is like. I think he's just a guy who had a podcast. That's the way I look at it, right? And like he might have been talking like outside the usual liberal, like accepted like realm of discourse, possibly, right? But I'm sorry, he just went down the culture war rabbit hole way too many fucking times for me to take him seriously. And I'm sorry, when you go down the culture war rabbit hole and you go that direction, you stop being progressive. Socially, like you are not like I don't know how to say this, but it's like Russell Brand. Did he ever say he was like a communist or socialist?
No, I think everybody just like look at him and see that he's dirty, but they think it's dirty in a good way, and he's probably like worn a skirt before, so y'all have like been like, ugh.
Well, okay. Let's just see personal life.
Ooh, he's got ADHD and bipolar. That's like everybody.
Well, okay, so. I'm just trying to see like there's really nothing saying that like he's a committed like anarchist or socialist or whatever. So I'm never going to be like, oh, this guy's a leftist and they're punishing him for that's stupid. That
is very stupid. Because if it like people barely get like charged on sexual assault charges, especially if they're white and rich. So being that he has and that Danny Matterson or whatever the fuck his name is just got
from
charged.
That 70s show,
yeah, with it is funny. One thing
funny say, in the strange and it bewilders me sense.
It's
not,
literally
it's not funny.
Yeah, not in the like haha, in the like what the fuck. I can't believe anyone got 30 years on rape because that never happens, and that's sad.
But that to get caught with that much, damn, you did that shit.
Yeah, and that was off of. Only convicting 2 out of the 3 he was charged for.
Dear
and
God.
5 out of the 5 he was that people have alleged. So yeah, he's a scumbag, and so is Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis for writing letters. Listener, don't do anything illegal at all, nowhere. Just don't do it. But if you do, don't do it in LA, because like I feel like they pay like 99 cents to access like all like public documents, and if someone writes you like a letter to the court, that thing's gonna come out.
TMZ gonna find it the minute you publish it.
Everybody's gonna find out. Like please, like don't be caught up with any like celebrity or anything. Just don't do it. Because everybody gonna know all your business. Like, and if you don't know, Ashton Kutcher he co-founded this organization called Thorn that works with, I think,
so it's allegedly to curtail human trafficking.
Yes. So people were very disappointed that he wrote a letter about he's so good. He's so nice.
Well, the contents of the letter are kind of weird because it's basically like he stopped me from doing drugs.
I was like,
that's basically the sole act that redeems him in this.
But he called him his mentor.
Oh, buddy. Oh,
yeah.
God. Oh.
And one of Danny Madison's ex-girlfriend, who I think she didn't get the conviction for her assault, she put on social media like some shout outs talking about how she knows a thing or two because she dated him for like 5 years when that 70s show just started. So she's like alleging that she knows some things that happened on set and things that happened personally in Ashton Kutcher's life, dealing with a girlfriend that he kind of had that ended up getting killed by a serial killer on the same day that
Church of Scientology not beating the allegations.
And like how Mila Kunis probably dealt with a lot of Danny Madison's creepiness beyond the one clip that people talked about where he was told where he gave Ashton Kutcher $10 to kiss Mila Kunis when she was 14. They knew she was 14. All of the like how it was, everybody knows that Mila Kunis like faked her age in heavy quotations so she because she was 14 and she was so young. Apparently it wasn't because like she was young and like they didn't want her kissing on and being around all of these like literal adults, like people who are 19 and above, but it's because they didn't want to pay for the tutor. So they didn't want anyone under like whatever the age. And she lied about her age, but they all knew what her age was.
So bringing us back to the main thread. In addition to the letters, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis post an apology video of some kind.
Ooh, heavy quotations again, an apology. And it definitely was a video. It definitely was a video, but it like they both put on their best acting. This is giving me like 2008 acting abilities.
It's again, it's the usual I fucked up video where like there's no background music, the camera is high quality but shitty at the same time. They're looking straight into it with like a somber expression.
They don't look dressed up. They look, but like everybody knows that they famously said that they don't be bathing. So like we don't know if they like purposely dress down or if that's just what they look like all the time.
Oh God.
But they also were like in a background to make their like mansion ranch house not look so humongous and like, you know, give them a little bit of modesty. And then they're obviously like you hear in the background them clicking for the script and they're doing like I'm gonna give everyone a little free PR. I'm not a PR person, I just someone who's chronically online. If you are going to apologize, you guys should not do a back and forth like apology thing where like you read a line and then you read a line, because then it's obvious that you've rehearsed this and you are reading lines.
Church of Scientology PR department, who's there? Who's asleep at the
both
wheel?
of them are not allegedly with the Church of Scientology, but
anymore or
no, they aren't. Danny Madison was the one. And then other girl who plays the redhead. I can't think of it. Donna. Okay. She's also in it. But then the characters of Eric Foreman's parents, they wrote letters too.
God damn it, Red. God
right.
Damn it.
Red and Kitty.
It always goes back to the 70s. As we say on this show.
There's also some alleged that like Danny purposefully just like tried to isolate his girlfriend from other people on that 70s show, like the dude who played Eric Foreman, and that he was kind of isolated and maybe that's the reason why he wasn't on that final season. stuff like that.
Oh, you mean an all white dude who was
Topher.
Topher Grace? Yeah.
Yeah. What a name.
I was gonna say like, oh, you mean Venom from Spider-Man 3?
Yeah. He's actually a pretty decent actor.
I don't know. He was playing a fucking Klansman in Black Klansman, so I don't know about all that.
I don't think I've
but then again, I don't know. Like that's
maybe that's like, look, I be playing this and then I be playing that, and I
be popping bottles. Don't.
Okay,
I might cut that.
So just to like talk about more disappointing things, because like, I mean, I try not to have these like parasocial relationship, like where I'm like, this person, I like this celebrity, they seem like they have good morals.
But that's kind of the whole
that's the
thing
whole
we have in America, right?
Yeah.
Is like,
well, no, it's not just in America, because.
Well, I don't know who the first.
Think about K-pop figures.
Well,
like,
I mean, like I was gonna say like Princess Diana, even, right?
Oh my
But it's
God.
like, you know, like you sublimate your identity, your politics, your praxis, like you sublimate all these aspects of your being into someone who doesn't even know you exist,
right? But I still do it, and that's why Lizzo like gutted me. We're not talking about it because it's
already been talked about.
There's no new information, but we will be checking it out. But one of the most disappointing and craziest roller coasters is the Drew Barrymore first deciding to be a scab and deciding to start her Drew Barrymore show. It's her like daytime talk show over again.
Who watches daytime talk shows anymore?
I think it's like, I remember one of the it's like prisons and jails, and like it's just on.
Okay, so
And
that's
then,
that's additional torture we do to our prison population.
Yes.
Okay, I get it.
Like,
but I'm
and,
talking
like-
about like so who in the
but then,
non-incarcerated pool is
But
doing
then
this?
it's like hotel like lobbies and like the dinner or breakfast areas for hotels and like
Airports
and like lounges for airports and waiting rooms for your dentist. It's like the weirdest place. Any place that would have like previously had a radio now has a TV, and because music is not neutral, but like TV is kind of.
You have a point, but it's just like I don't know how we reached this point.
I don't know either, but like those talk shows, like you're like, who watches it? But those are the TV shows that have like 87 seasons, and you're like, somebody's getting paid. Somebody's obviously watching it. The metrics are there if it's cable. At least they have to have metrics. But Drew Barrymore, she decided she wanted to be a little scabby scab. And everybody was like, that's fucked up. Which something that those writers strike and SAG-AFTRA strike has taught me is that like so many TV shows has different writing, and you don't even really realize.
Did you see the thing where Bill Maher said he was going to come back and then gave up because he would have to write a joke?
Oh, is that real or is that just a joke?
That's my reading of the situation. That's just
no. That literally it would be it, because like, I mean, do you want to think about the people who would scab for Bill Maher?
Let me guess, the liberals.
Like the type of
That's
scab,
his joke.
like the type of scabs he would have.
I knew he would be like,
this is unstoppable.
Well, I'm sorry. Like, what is Bill Maher's joke? Let me guess, the Republicans.
I have
like,
no idea what Bill Maher is. I'm proud to say.
All I know is America's bad because of the Republicans. Listen here, black. Like, I don't know. That's just how how it comes off to me.
Yeah,
like,
that's the vibe he gives for sure. But Drew Barrymore then did a half-ass apology where she's like, I hear you. I feel you. I see you.
What? Every time motherfuckers say that, what does that mean?
I don't know.
What does that mean?
But the thing is that like she shortly after deleted the video.
Someone got a screen cap though, I imagine.
Oh yeah, all of this information is on the internet. You can easily find it. I promise you. It's like I'm telling you. When I said roller coaster, this is like a roller coaster because when we first put this down, it was just Drew Barrymore's a scab. Now it's Drew Barrymore was a scab. Then she did a apology video. Then she deleted the apology video. But now she has finally bucked the fuck up and it has. Do you want to talk about it?
Well, sorry. I don't remember all of it. What do you remember? I'm just trying to pull the thing up.
It has finally decided that she no longer is going to be a scab. We also learned that for some reason she got scab in the family. Like her like great aunt or her actual aunt, someone in her family. Oh, that's not it. They were scab and old time like that.
Yeah, basically, her great aunt Ethel Barrymore was pivotal in blocking a Hollywood labor action exactly 94 years ago, and it also had major consequences. Now we can. Do you remember like the content of the thread, or we can share it? It doesn't really matter, but
the content of
this thread. I'm just
I just know that. Like I don't even need to read the thread. I know that she's a Barrymore. Barrymores have been in Hollywood since Hollywood, and like
before there was Holly on that wood, there was there.
But yes, she decided that she's no longer a scab. Bullying works. Bully celebrities and corporations when it comes to them doing bad things. Don't bully them because they look like something.
Well, specifically in this context, right? It's
yes.
like
bully.
It's a strike.
It's a strike. You are not supposed to work, and she's a part of both of those. Like
both SAG-AFTRA and WGA.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's some of her shit.
So she's a member of both unions and okay, that's
so like it's just like, and then she's like, I wanted to do this for my crew members, and like your crew members would be better if you weren't a scabbing piece of shit, because that's gonna show if they need you, you're gonna scab on them. At least that's how I think.
So let's be clear. You said you did it for your staff, but then you didn't hire union staff because union staff would be on strike. So you were either asking union members to scab, which makes you a scab, sorry, or you didn't. You literally hired non-union labor for this. Interesting how that plays out.
Exactly. But she did the right thing in the end, and it's just annoying that some people need to. I
like the way that like all the good liberal celebs were good liberals up until the strike happened, and then they really had to decide where they sat.
Yeah.
They really had to decide.
But I've seen so many people get gathered because of this strike, and y'all deserve this, because if you had something to say about unions, if you were against unions, guess what? You're dumb. First of all, you're dumb.
Your goose is cooked.
Your goose is cooked. And you're already a follower, bitch, so you might as well get on the winning train this time and support the unions.
Can I get an onion?
Also support UWA. Support all...
UAW.
I'm dyslexic. UAW. UWA.
Who is UWA?
I don't know.
University of Washington? Is that who that...
Ugh.
I don't know.
Ew.
Sorry to all the UWash fans.
Yeah.
If there are any of you here, I'm sorry.
I don't know even anything. This wasn't anything against...
I've been to the Seattle campus. It's cool.
I've never been to Washington. I don't plan on anytime soon, I don't think.
So you not trying to go get salmon in Seattle? You not trying to go to the OG Starbucks in Pike Place Market?
No, it's constantly has a line like outside the door.
But what I don't get is like, why would you go to the first Starbucks? It's Starbucks, bro. What are you gonna
why
get
can't
there?
I just take a picture of it outside? It's right there.
Well, the fun thing
Here.
too.
Oh, it's here. Now let's go get good coffee.
My fun thing about the first time I went to Seattle, I had already had like my coffee like horizon expanded at that point. Like I basically did not know how to use coffee until like I went on like a study abroad trip in Costa Rica, and like that's where like, you know, there'd be like a place where they were growing it just outside. You stop by on the road and they prepare you like a fresh drip coffee. And Costa Rican beans are like, they have a neutral flavor, you know what I mean? So it's like a nice dark roast, but no bitterness, no acridity. It's really delicious, right? And I had, you know, been trying to like chase that experience, and you know, I'm drinking shitty Starbucks coffee when I get back. I go visit, you know, some people up in Seattle, and basically every coffee shop that I went to wasn't a Starbucks, and they were all great. Mm-hmm. They were all great.
Yeah.
They were all on the third wave of coffee at that point.
Yeah,
So
honestly,
like,
if I would go to if I would go to Seattle, I would go
Coffee
to
shop
different
tour, yeah, for
coffee
sure.
shops, like
for sure.
literally. But yeah, don't be a scab ever.
Okay, coming to our final topic of the evening. This has been making the rounds.
I want you to say what you have on the screen.
Lord forgive me. Lauren Boebert Bee the Tle juice. So, family values, Christian conservative, far right darling, Trump supporter, Lauren Boebert,
Lifelong bitch.
owner of the Diarrhea Cafe in Colorado, the Diarrhea Burger spot. Was at a was on a date, I imagine, with again something that I didn't understand. What I assume to be like a liberal guy who likes like drag, like.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Like he was allegedly a Democrat, is what I heard. Right.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So like once again,
culture
war is once again.
Democrat.
Culture war is always theater first and foremost. But okay, so my guy thought he was going to just enjoy the arts, and keep in mind this is a theatrical production of Beetlejuice. What the fuck is going on? And that you are at a theatrical production of Beetlejuice, I don't know.
And like it's in a like decent theater, so like your basic theaters might be like just one level, one room. So
you're talking about like the Abraham Lincoln Suite, like that kind of stuff. Okay.
Well, like yes, but like it might not have like those balconies, but it definitely has a
it has the upper wing kind of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like if you are sitting in a certain like, especially if you're sitting like in the we got just enough money to come and see this and enjoy ourselves seats, where you're like a few rows back, like you're not up front, but you're not like in the back, and people can see you if they're in that upper level, and she's just going at it,
just giving him an over the pants handy,
and she's like, I don't know. I think she's on the aisle and he's like right next to her. Or like,
and were there people sitting next to them?
Yes, it was a full house from what
God.
at least the bottom part. It was from the video I saw.
She was just.
I don't even think the house lights went down yet. Like it was very bright, the video. Like I don't know, maybe this person has an amazing phone. Maybe their camera quality is just like, but like I don't know. Like that looked like the house lights was on. Like
this is just one of those stories where I like nobody involved, but like, right. But I just like I'm sorry. What the hell is going on in your life that you go to A theatrical production of Beetlejuice.
The musical.
And then you in the mood.
And you're just like, you know what I gotta do? I gotta give this dude a hand job. It's just when I'm fiending for a hand job in the middle of this theater.
What was she gonna say? Beetlejuice, and he, Beetlejuice comes when you say it 3 times. Just not that way.
But yeah, it's.
I get it. It's just the kind of thing where it's like, it's been said ad nauseum. I don't know how to say it again, but it's like, here we go again. Family values conservative, acting a freak in public.
It's like, what are you even? I just don't understand why. Like, what was?
It's like every attempt we make to psychoanalyze some of these people, like, you gotta just throw the whole DSM at it. And still come up empty. You know what I mean?
Like, I don't think the best mental health facility that like does actual good and like helps and rehabilitate people can really diagnose why this extreme strain of Republicans and some Democrats just act like this. Like, why you like that? Like, why? What the hell are you like that? Oh yeah, she was also vaping. Like, why are you vaping?
What kind of vape was it? What kind of vape was it?
I don't know. I mean, she's from Colorado, so it could be a weed vape.
I really don't know what to make of this. I think this is the perfect place to end. What do you say?
Yes.
Thanks again, dear listener, for tuning into Greenhouse Gaslighting and for trying out our new segment. Welcome to Page Bitch. Sky, do you have anything you'd like to plug or shout out before we start closing this one out, or any closing thoughts?
Don't be a scab.
I think we can all agree to that. This has been another episode of Greenhouse Gaslighting. You know the deal. I got all the social media and the links, in the description below. Only change this time around, we would like to announce that we launched our Ko-Fi. It's kind of like our tip jar. So you can donate to us if you support our work. It's non-committal. There's no obligation to contribute a certain amount. There's no real tiers, but for $2.50 a month, you can come interact with us on Discord.
And if you want to give us a little bit more reparations, or if you got a little bit more money, because I got a lot of heart to take that money.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, dear listener. Take care. See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.